Hi, welcome back to Bride Society. I'm Rebecca and this is Laura. So, firstly, Happy New Year. It's the 1st of January, or at least if you're watching it on the day we've released it, and it's the start of 2021. And presumably, if you're watching this video, you may have just gotten engaged over the Christmas New Year period. And if that's you, huge congratulations from the both of us. Such an exciting time. And so maybe now you're just starting to turn your mind to how to start planning your wedding. And of course, it's not in any ordinary situation. We're still in the throes of the pandemic. So how do you start planning your wedding in a pandemic? That is the question we are here to help answer.
That is the question, yeah. And I think the main thing is be excited. Yes, we've got a pandemic going on, but you're allowed to be excited about this and excited about your wedding planning journey. But
because as well, sorry, I was just going to say, because there is more optimism about weddings going forward now. So the vaccine is rolling out on the horizon. So we're planning with a little bit more confidence than maybe we were throughout last year and moving dates and not really knowing what was going on. So still in it now, but so the planning stages might be a little bit more tricky, but hopefully W Day should be something resembling normality, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, yes.
As you were, Laura, sorry.
Okay, so the main thing, and we advise this regardless of whether we're in a pandemic or not, is wedding insurance. Now, there is a big caveat with this at the moment because a lot of wedding insurance suppliers have suspended their coverage. There are a couple of companies that are putting out new policies, but they don't cover, understandably, COVID. So it's definitely something we recommend if you can get it. Just check the policies really carefully about what is covered and what isn't, so you know that you're not essentially wasting money if the thing that you need it for is not covered in that particular policy. Now, hopefully, with this kind of optimism with the vaccine and everything, other companies will start providing the insurance policies again. So if you can't get it immediately, hopefully in the next couple of months, there'll be more options out there.
Yeah, it's definitely something to keep your eye on.
Yes.
But so we do recommend it regardless.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, read the small print.
Yeah.
And if you are unable to currently get the wedding insurance that with the coverage you're looking for, if when you're booking suppliers, have a look at their terms and conditions in their contracts to see whether you can move your date with them without losing your deposit. If you need to postpone for some reason, COVID related or not, I guess, but obviously we're COVID focused for today's video. But yeah, or indeed have an outright conversation with them when you're booking with people to say, like, what is your policy around this? Because obviously it's been a tough time for suppliers too, and by now no doubt they'll have their own policies in place. So have that conversation, check those out.
Now, this is where it might get a bit more exciting rather than looking at contracts and terms and conditions, but you can start looking for inspiration, and what better place to look for inspiration than online. So Pinterest is your friend. You can lose many an hour down the Pinterest rabbit hole. Now remember, Pinterest and these inspiration pictures are people showing their best work and kind of lots of suppliers coming together to really show off what they can do. So don't just always be mindful that things may cost a lot of money. So depending on your budget, try not to get too carried away. But still, take inspiration, look at colours, look at ideas of styles that you like. There's online wedding magazines. You can create kind of, the Pinterest boards or like online photo albums of inspiration and ideas of things you like. And it will help you narrow down maybe the types of suppliers you want to contact, the type of wedding you want to have, type of venue that you might want to get married in. So yeah, there's lots of inspiration.
Yeah. And I think as well, if you're doing all this stuff on your phone, like, I mean, for my wedding, I was there with the physical magazines, cutting things out, marking pages with tabs. But if you haven't got the physical stuff right now, as I said, there's online magazines, but you can do screenshots and maybe make a whole like separate album in your phone that you save all the wedding content to, so it's all in one place and organized, and so you still get excited that way. And a little self plug for us, we of course are on Pinterest as well with all of like our content, with our DIYs that we've made for inspiration. So do check out our Pinterest and give us a follow over there as well for more delightful bride to be information.
So after you've been looking at kind of all this inspiration, you might have come across some suppliers, for example, a photographer whose work you absolutely love. You must have them for your wedding. Now, if there are any suppliers like this that you kind of really want to be a part of your big day, contact them now, as soon as possible. Now, obviously depending on when your wedding date is, but because of the postponements of a lot of 2020 couples, many suppliers will now have fewer available dates in 2021, 2022. So get in there quickly if there's somebody you can't kind of not have at your wedding, if there's someone you've really fallen in love with, just to see when they have available. And that might, depending on who the supplier is or the type of supplier, that might then shape your wedding dates as well, depending on how important they are to you.
And then create a dedicated Instagram account. So you maybe already have your own personal Instagram account, but it's very much a thing to have one dedicated for your wedding. So you can make it private and things so that guests can't, see too many spoilers about what's going to come up. But people kind of use it both to track their wedding journey, their planning journey, and as a kind of new take on a Pinterest board, like, see inspiration and sort of repost it and going, these are the sort of flower ideas I'm thinking about, and be able to kind of collate things in one place from another platform. But as well, it's from the point of view of there's such now a bridal community on there. So I say, because it's a thing to do this now, like there are lots of other brides on there who will follow you and you follow them back, and you get a relationship almost and support in this virtual wedding planning world of other people that are going through the experience in the same pandemic situation that you are. And it's a great resource in terms of like finding suppliers, because say these people are posting things that they've found for their own wedding or inspiration, and you see that and where did you get that from? And it's just a great sort of networking support base to draw from. So yeah, hop online.
And again, we've got our own Instagram account, so we'll have that linked and you can go and give that a follow as well. Because of everything that's been going on this year, wedding fairs have either not been happening, or you have to book tickets for them because they're with social distancing, you have restricted numbers, or there might be virtual wedding fairs. So these are things you can look into depending on your area and the local restrictions are in place at the time, whether you can go and visit at a wedding fair to actually speak to some suppliers in person, or search for some virtual wedding fairs that might be happening either around. So even if you're getting married in a different area to where you currently live, it's a way to see potentially some local suppliers to your wedding venue that will be able to help. Now, I don't know about if you've looked into these specifically, how they work, whether you can chat to the people personally, or whether they're posting like videos about their products or services. But there'll be a lot more information when you go to look to see if there are any suitable for where you want to get married.
Mm-hmm. And again, on the virtual theme, I think virtual theme is the theme of the year, like for 2020, wasn't it? So continuing on with that, you can do virtual wedding dress appointments. So obviously at some point you probably want to physically go to the store, but various bridal boutiques now will offer like an online consultation prior to you going in, so you can chat to the people in the store. They can show you what dresses they carry, and you talk about like what kind of wedding you're having, what look, what style you're after, and so you can get a much better idea about if it's worth your while going into that shop, and obviously having in contact with people. But also, so because they want to like minimize obviously the touching of dresses, like the browsing part, so they will do that for you via Zoom or FaceTime or whatever. So yeah, and it probably means you can get a much better like look around and scope of things too before you do the foot traffic, like before you hit the road, because even pandemic aside, like that's actually a really time consuming and actually fun but exhausting kind of process. It's funny how tiring trying clothes on is. But it is. So yeah, you've got a slight sort of elimination process prior. So it's a really cool way of doing that. That's kind of that's developed.
Yeah, and if you want to get bookings from suppliers, but you haven't got an opportunity to meet them face to face, there is again the option of doing an online consultation. So either via Zoom or similar products. So it might be you want to book your cake maker, but you can't have an in-person consultation. So you have a chat over video call, and then they can either post out some samples to you or get some samples some other way at another time. So there are ways around booking your suppliers with confidence, because a lot of it, but for me, booking a lot of suppliers were for getting to know them and kind of feeling confident that they would deliver what I wanted for the wedding. So it's nice to be able to have that personal interaction some way before you book them, and also it goes to show that it's a real person. There's a bit more level of trust there. So yes, potential for online consultations, and then you can book them in, and then when things improve, I'm sure they'd also be happy to have kind of a face-to-face chat with you to nail down all the finer details near the time.
And then a kind of follow on from my previous point is that you now maybe try dresses on at home. So whether this be your wedding dress or bridesmaids dresses, but many high street retailers have gotten on board with the whole wedding attire ranges and over the past few years, which you may not necessarily be aware of because they don't always stock that stuff in store. It's often available online only. But yeah, it's not just wedding boutiques anymore. So if you're looking maybe for a lower price point or just something a bit more with a bit more variety, and particularly maybe for the bridesmaids dresses, you might want to take a look at these high street online retailers and then have them arrange them delivered to your house so you can try them on in the comfort of your own home, in the security of your own home, COVID wise, and yeah, get a feel even for just what styles, shapes, colors you like and that kind of thing, and use that as a starting point, even if you decide not to go with any of those particular dresses. It still could be quite an informative process to go through if you later decide you want to go to the bridal boutiques.
And of course, you just got engaged. It's a very exciting time. You might want to celebrate. So why not have a virtual engagement party? Seeing as it's unlikely that you'd be able to get everyone together physically at the moment. So set up some event, again, maybe via Zoom. You can all get dressed up. You can, if you've got the budget, you could arrange maybe for some kind of cake or a small bottle of something to be delivered to all the attendees beforehand, so you can all celebrate with a piece of cake and a kind of toast to the happy couple.
Or even to make your engagement announcement. I mean, quite often we want to tell people face to face, and depending what tier we're all in at this point in time and things like that might not be possible, but take the opportunity maybe to get creative with the way you share your news. Maybe someone filmed the moment that the question was popped and things, and you can make a little like video to send out to people, something, you know, just have a think, get creative. I mean, obviously you can FaceTime people to tell them and things too, or have them open something that tells them whilst you're on FaceTime with them. Yeah, again, it's things are different. there's no getting away from that. But I think with that comes an opportunity to be creative and think differently about things. And, you know, your story is going to be so different from anyone else's, like outside of 2020, 2021, you know, and that's going to be historical and that's going to be your story. So make it a good one for whatever that means, you know. I think, yeah, it doesn't have to be as diminishing as it initially maybe seems.
Yeah. And there are still ways, if you want to get cracking on being creative and make some personalised touches for the wedding. But if you're unsure about kind of nailing down the date on, like, permanently on things, and I think this on a previous video, we've used this tip, is using the coordinates. So if you've got your venue, use your venue coordinates of where you're getting married. It's unlikely that will change, fingers crossed.
Yeah, or at least the city that it's in,
Yeah.
like even if you do, like, it's probably gonna be in the same city or something, you know. So hopefully in amongst all that, that's giving you some confidence and some ideas about how to start planning your wedding. And so it's such an exciting time, no matter what is going on right now. And so again, congratulations from us. So we've been around on here for a while now. So although we're filming via Zoom right now, there's lots of other content with us both together in person, which is probably quite shocking, with lots of planning advice and inspiration and ideas to help you build up the full picture of your wedding, and lots of DIY ideas too if you want to start crafting with those coordinates instead of dates. So yeah, check all of that out. But otherwise, please give us a like, hit subscribe so you don't miss any of that future content that will be coming up. We're here every Friday at 4 o'clock and we hope you can join us.